Salute and Merry Christmas. It's your boy Big Mike here with another installment of the Raiders Pop-Off, episode 6. Today we're going to do a little something different. We talk Raiders culture. We talk past, present, and future. Today I want to give a tribute to Franco Harris. Now, on Tuesday, we lost a legend, an NFL legend, with Franco Harris. He passed away at age 72. I want to talk about his career. I want to talk about his impact with the Raiders and Steelers rivalry of the 70s. And we're going to get into it. We'll discuss deeper into that. And then we'll talk a little bit about the game as well. But I do want to pay tribute to the 70s rivalry between the Raiders and Steelers and how that molded the Steelers as a dynasty in the 70s and the Raiders as a franchise in general. Kind of started a culture and started a lot of things that, you know, I kind of want to just shed light on that because as Raider fans, we have to realize where we come from. And that's my goal to do that. I want to share that with you guys. I want to make sure that we unpack everything that happened in the 70s with the Raiders and Steelers. And the best way for me to do that is to reintroduce you to my boy Josh.
What's up, brother?
Man,
it's good to see you, man.
Good to be back. Yay, I'm glad you're back, man. You know, and I couldn't think of anybody better to talk Raiders Steelers. We're both historians in this thing. We like to talk, you know, not just X's and O's, but we like to talk about the history of football.
Absolutely.
You know,
absolutely, my brother.
And there's no better history than the Raiders and Steelers in NFL history, period. In modern NFL history, starting from the 70s when the merger started.
Yep.
There's no better rivalry that's the Raiders and Steelers. And I'll get into little facts here and there.
Yes.
But first, I do want to talk about Franco Harris.
Yeah.
I do want to read some of his stats because, you know, the modern football fan really doesn't know too much about Franco Harris. They hear about the Immaculate Reception, you know, and they hear about, you know, that play specifically, but they don't really know who Franco Harris as a player is or was.
Yep. Yep.
So, you know, I do want to kind of get into that, and I'm going to read some stats off for you. It's going to be, you know, Franco Harris. Franco Doc Harris was his full name. 6'2", 230 pounds.
Big boy.
Power back. You know,
bruiser.
Yep. You know,
run you over.
You know, he was born March 7th, 1950 in New Jersey. He was drafted 13th overall in the 1972 draft. So he was a rookie during Immaculate Reception.
Yeah,
he was a rookie running back. So you know, I want to make sure that, you know, we kind of paint the picture of what was going on, right?
Yeah.
His career stats: 12,120 yards with the Steelers, and 91 touchdowns and a 4.1 yards per carry average in his years. And you know, he made the Pro Bowl. Let me read some of his awards. He was a 4-time Super Bowl champ, as you already know. Hall of Famer, all 1970s team. He won 1972 AP Offensive Rookie of the Year. He was the Super Bowl 9 MVP. Like this is a guy that people need to know that this wasn't just a Immaculate Reception thing. This was definitely he had a decorated career. This wasn't a one-hit wonder type of deal. This is a guy who came in the league in 72 and hit the ground running from the jump.
Yeah.
Go ahead and
he was legit.
Your perspective of Franco Harris, man.
Yeah, man. You know, Franco Harris, when I heard that he died, it hit me home. And because I know what he means to the Steelers. He's like our bread and butter. There's a statue of him at the airport in Pittsburgh. So, you know, he started so many things in Pittsburgh. He started the culture of the big backs, and that's what Jerome Bettis alluded to on First Take this week. And then we have Najee Harris, who's another 6'2", 240-pounder. So he established that culture of the big backs in Pittsburgh, and that bruising style of running is the tradition, is the identity of Pittsburgh. He started that.
Yeah.
And those stats that you read off that's outstanding. That was a rookie. You got a rookie that's performing like that at a high level, and his whole career he was the heart and soul of the Steelers. Oh, and another quick stat.
Yeah.
The Steelers still has the most consecutive 100 yards more than any other team in the NFL.
That's right.
For a long period of time of 100 yards per game. The Steelers still have that record, and that's probably because of Franco Harris.
Yeah,
so
it's the whole culture of hard-nosed football that started in the 70s. And it molded a recipe for hard-nosed football. You got the steel curtain defense. You got that rushing attack that will hit you in the mouth, and a team that you wouldn't want to deal with rushing wise in the fourth quarter. And to tie Franco Harris and his career in with the Immaculate Reception. Yeah. So what people do not realize or do not know is that 1972 game versus the Oakland Raiders, the Immaculate Reception game, was the NFL divisional playoff game that year. Yep. And that was the Steelers' first playoff win.
Yes.
That was the Steelers' first playoff win, and it kickstarted a dynasty, basically.
Yes, it did.
The early stages of a dynasty. Now, that year, you guys did lose to the Dolphins, who ended up going undefeated and winning the Super Bowl. The following year, we ended up playing you guys again in the playoffs in the 73 year, but we lost to the Dolphins again, who ended up going back-to-back in the Super Bowl.
Yeah. When they had that guy, Larry Zonka.
Larry Zonka,
big part of that. Yeah.
The undefeated Dolphins, that was a buzzsaw of a team that both teams had to deal with and just couldn't get over that hump. But after a year from 74, 75, 75, 76, 76, 77, it was Raiders Steelers, and whoever won that one was going to the Super Bowl and winning.
Yep. That's it.
So
that's it, man.
Another good stat to share is that the Raiders Steelers, this rivalry, this is the only team to this day, that only duo to this day that has played each other 5 consecutive years in the playoffs.
Wow.
And this is something that we probably never see again.
Yeah. And I didn't even know that stat. Yeah. I didn't even know that stat.
5 consecutive years, at least in the divisional round or above.
Wow.
The final 3 years that they played in the 70s was it was that 74, 75 year, 75, 76, and 76, 77. That final one, we finally got over the hump against you guys.
Yeah.
Ended up winning our first Super Bowl against the Vikings in the Rose Bowl.
In the Rose Bowl, when John Madden's your head coach.
John Madden was the head coach. He was the head coach for the Immaculate Reception.
Yes, he was. Yep, that's right. He sure was.
So tell me a little bit about, from your perspective as a Steelers fan, the Immaculate Reception, and what does that mean to you? To me, we call it, the Raiders fans, we call it the Immaculate Deception, because it's a little bit controversial. There's a lot of things that's going on with that. It was a little weird. The groundskeeper before the game put water on the field and froze the field up, and John Madden and Al Davis were pretty pissed off about that.
Yeah.
So it's a lot of gamesmanship, I like to call it, right? That happened in that game. But as a Steelers fan, tell me your perspective of this game as best you can, man. Because this is we're both 35, 36 years old,
right?
So it's not like we saw the game firsthand, but we're both historians of the game. So tell me from your perspective what you took in as from that game as a Steelers fan.
I think the Steelers from that game, and I saw the whole game off of YouTube. I watched the whole game. The Steelers started believing in themselves. They realized they arrived and that they can go far. And after that reception, I think they knew the sky was the limit, because that game was down to the wire, as you can see. The Raiders, that's one thing about the Raiders. You guys play us so hard, and we have to give it everything we got against you guys. It's one thing when we play against the Browns and the Bengals and the Ravens or whatever, but when we play the Raiders, it's you're going to get a gritty, physical football game, and that's what it was, down to the wire.
Yes,
and I don't know how Terry Bradshaw got the ball off. He was under pressure. He should have got sacked. And that play should have been an incomplete pass because your secondary blew up our receiver. If you watch closely, he got loaded. Yeah, Jack Tatum unloaded on the receiver. Yeah, so that was a miracle how that ball just fell right into Frank's hands.
Yep.
And he almost got tackled himself, but he had enough speed to 230 pounds going full speed. Yeah, he had enough, momentum to break whatever that was and get into the end zone. But it started a beautiful rivalry. It started a dynasty, and it showed that, and it told the Raiders too, hey, you know what? This team is going to be the team we have to deal with from now on if we want to get to the title. And it started a beautiful love and hatred rivalry that should be never forgotten in NFL history. Because when you think about the Raiders and the Steelers, you know one thing: you're gonna get a hard, pad clacking, old school meat and potato football game. And still to this day in 2022, we're gonna get that today between these two teams. They're gonna hit each other in the mouth.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And I still want to talk about the past, man.
Let's talk about it.
We're gonna get into that game. We're gonna get into the game.
Yeah, man.
But I want to talk about, you did say that love-hate relationship about the Raiders and Steelers, and we say love and hate now, right? But it wasn't love and hate. It was hate back then.
It was hate. Yeah, that's I want to reiterate it. It was hate, man. I mean, you guys were it was hate. And I hated you guys. I couldn't stand you guys. The black and silver. I was like, y'all, y'all shoved Terry Bradshaw to the ground. We would Jack Lambert, he's missing his teeth, and we was hitting you guys in the mouth. You guys were hitting us in the mouth. It was cussing. It was personal. We took it it was personal. Y'all would talk crap shit about us, and with the media, we talk shit back. Yep. It was personal, and I loved it. I loved it. I loved it.
You know what, man? I do want to throw in another memory. I don't know if you remembered this or maybe kind of just slipped your mind. Remember the Lynn Swann and George Atkinson hit?
Yes.
So in 75, we played you guys in the AFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
George Atkinson took out Lynn Swann.
Yeah.
With a dirty hit.
With a dirty hit. I remember that hit. And he went to the meeting.
Concussion. Yeah. He was out, but luckily for you guys had a 2-week break after you guys beat us, because it was, the 2-week break between the Super Bowl.
Right.
You guys ended up winning that Super Bowl that year.
Mm-hmm.
And then the following year, we played you guys opening game of the 76 season, the year we won the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
George Atkinson did the same thing. Took out Lynn Swann on a dirty hit. And that's what led to court cases.
Yeah.
They were saying that Lynn Swann was saying that George Atkinson, he was like a dirty player, and he was really dirty. The Raiders in general are dirty. And it led to George Atkinson taking the Steelers to court for defamation of character. The Steelers ended up winning that case, but it started a whole hate. It started hate, it started something that went beyond the field. You know what I mean? So
I hated that it went to the court cases, because that's come on, that's kind of like a cop out to me, man. The best way to solve that problem, you hit them back. That's what you do. I'm gonna find if George Atkinson laid me out, and we're going into the next season, I'm gonna find George Atkinson. I'm gonna lay him out.
Yeah,
that's like that. That's how you fix that problem.
See, but that was Al Davis's dirty way of trying to distract the Steelers. Yeah. It wasn't really about the money or suing. I think it was a psychological kind of tactic, right?
Yeah.
Because the case went well into the following season, and you guys started off slow.
Mm-hmm.
You guys ended up losing to the Broncos the following year. The Broncos ended up going and facing the Cowboys in the Super Bowl that following year after we won it, but took you guys out in the AFC Championship.
Yeah.
So that whole thing kind of just it was a psychological tactic to kind of get you guys off your game. That's what it seemed like to me. And you know what is funny
Yeah.
is that the Raiders in general, just that whole persona of being the dirty, the villain. That's where it started. That's where it really started.
It
The
did.
NFL in general, saw the Raiders as dirty players because of that play, because of those plays. We're a hard-nosed team to deal with, but we also added on that persona of being a dirty, villainous team because of those plays that happened those 2 years with the Steelers and Raiders. So, just wanted to put that in there.
And the mystique of the Raiders, the silver and black with the pirate logo, and you guys are hitting and then Oakland is a rough, gritty town. It's like, it's like you guys were literally pirates in yourself. Yeah. And the Steelers, we're just this hard-nosed, hardy team from Pittsburgh, and we're kind of like the heroes in the script. So, but I loved it. I loved every bit of that rivalry back then, where when hitting each other was legal. Right. You can lay somebody out and get a bonus check instead of getting fined. So,
right. And I put on my thumbnail. I sent the thumbnail to you, right? I put at the bottom. I put an ode to Franco Harris and the Raiders and Steelers 1970s rivalry, right?
Yes.
Put that at the bottom. So I put the key word there is ode. So the definition of ode is like poetry. It's a poetry to a specific subject. You're spitting poetry. And to talk about the Raiders and Steelers is a level of poetry. It's a level of art, because football back then doesn't exist today.
It doesn't. No,
it doesn't. So
not at all.
We talk about it in a poetic type of way these days, because that's the type of football we grew up on. Me and you grew up on.
Yeah. Smash mouth, relentless.
Yep.
You can helmet to helmet.
Yep.
If you got a concussion, oh well, that's what you signed up for. Ain't no fines. Ain't none of that. You can fall on the quarterback, sack him, lay him out too. If he's on the stretcher, oh well.
And there's a level of beauty to that, right?
Yes.
In a twisted kind of way, because we're wired a little differently, right?
We are.
It's a level of beauty to that. There's seeing somebody get knocked on their ass is just something special.
It's beautiful. I still to this day, I'm 35 years old, but when I see a good, clean hit, old school hit on the football field, I lose my damn mind because these guys today are with this arm tackling and going for the ball. It's just, that's not football, bro. No. Because the person with the ball is still getting yards.
Yep.
When you said of wrapping up, driving your legs, driving your feet, and having them go backwards, that's defense.
Yes,
so, and we were the Steelers and the Raiders were kings at that textbook tackling. John Madden didn't play that. John Madden made sure you played physical, and he had the offensive lineman on the sled, and he had the defense wrapping up, tackling, and it was dirty. The Raiders were dirty in the sense of they hit you so hard, it felt like it was a dirty hit. But at the end of the day, it was, when it comes down to it, it's football. That's what it was. Sir. It was football.
That's the game.
Yeah.
That's the game in its purest form.
We're
definitely football purists. So, this is something that we'll hold on near and dear to us. And this is the reason why I did this show. This is the reason why I wanted to build this platform, because it needs to be known, not just with the Raiders, but in general, what type of game that we originated from, because we're losing that. We're losing that type of intensity in the game. We're losing the bitter rivalries. Teams want to swap jerseys and be friends.
Yeah, I hate that.
We don't have that true rivalry where we hated each other.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But respected each other. We don't have that anymore. So it needs to be expressed. It needs to be told. The story needs to be told accurately. It needs to be told and expressed in a way that people understand what was going on at that time.
Exactly. Yes, I agree.
Yes,
I agree, man. Yeah.
That's kind of where I stand with the Raiders and Steelers. we broke down the 70s rivalry pretty good. We talked about Franco Harris and his career, a bruiser back, a power back, a pioneer of this game, a Hall of Famer, a Pro Bowler, 9-time Pro Bowler, one-time All-Pro, Hall of Fame career, decorated career. You know, we did all that, but let's talk about the present. We got us a game.
Yeah, today. We do, man. And this is big. Game. This is a big game because both teams started bad this season, and we're both looking at 6-8. We still mathematically we still have a chance to make the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Both of us.
So that win for the Raiders last week against New England was big. Yep. Because I think that if you guys were to lose that game, your season was over. But now that you're 6-8, we're 6-8. We beat Carolina last weekend, and we're both sitting at 6-8. We both got this is a survival game.
This is an elimination game right now.
It's an elimination game.
This is basically a playoff game.
It pretty much is. It pretty much is. And then we have to hope by default, either or team, we have to hope by default somebody else lose for us to get a spot, a 6 or 7 spot seed. And no more, no less. But this game is pretty much a playoff. This is a do or die game right here. And and then when you couple that with Franco Harris passing, the Immaculate Reception anniversary, it's the Raiders and the Steelers rivalry.
Yeah.
We're talking about tons of emotion, physicality. It's in Pittsburgh. It's going to be cold. This is going to be an old school slobber knocker, and it's a survival game too. You know, we all know Derek Carr's on the line with his career.
Right. Yep.
That's a whole other topic. Yeah. That's a whole other topic. He's on the line. He's on the line. I think Josh Jacobs is coming back, but a lot of things are at stake. People want Mike Tomlin gone because of the season, bro. That don't make no sense. But they want a new face in Pittsburgh. He's been there for 15 years, and the Steelers haven't won a Super Bowl since 2010. So, so we got to pick up. This is big. This is a really big game. A lot is on the line. A
whole lot is on the line for this game.
Yeah.
And you know what? I marked this game specifically on the calendar when the schedule came out.
I did too, bro.
This was one of those games that I got hyped up for, just as a football peers like yourself.
Yeah.
You know, I saw this game and I was like, man, this game is gonna have something on the line. It's always something on. This isn't just a game. You know, this is always at least pride. For the very least, pride is on the line for this one.
It is.
You know, at the end, I'm glad that they put it at the end of the season to where, you know, this has in some way playoff implications. This is an elimination game, and I'm just excited for this game, man. This is one of those games that it's a throwback game.
It is.
This is a reminder of football's past. It is celebrating the Immaculate Reception or Immaculate Deception.
Yes.
You know, we're celebrating that, and it's just great, man. And it's on Christmas Eve. Like, it just doesn't get any better than this, man. And
I'm so excited. I can't wait to be by the TV to watch this game. I mean, this is going to be. I want this to be a Max Crosby, TJ Watt game, and I want this to be a Josh Jacobs, Najee Harris game. Damn the quarterbacks. Yeah. We got Mitchell Trubisky, and I know Derek Carr is better than him, but I want this to be. I don't want this to be no air raid. I want this to be a battle in the trenches, old school. I hope it's snowing in Pittsburgh too. That would be that'd be awesome.
Well, we're already getting the weather. It's gonna be 10 degrees. It's gonna be a negative wind chill. There's gonna be some wind. So possible snow, but it's like 20% or something. So we might not see it, but it's gonna be cold out there. It's gonna be one of those bone shattering type of cold games where you're gonna have to deal with a defense. You know, every play with every hit. So it's just a setup for a throwback type of game, man, and it's going to be exciting, man.
I want this to be I want some silver and black on the Steelers helmet, and I want some black and gold on the Raiders helmet. That lets me know we clacking.
Absolutely, that's what I need to see, man.
Yeah,
so,
man.
Tell me what give me a score prediction and kind of give me a rundown how you think this game is going to go.
I want the Steelers to win. So, of course, but I have to be real. I have to be objective here.
Mm-hmm.
If the Steelers were to win, I kind of see it as in the 20s game. Like, at least if we were to win, it'd be like 27, 25-ish. It's not going to be a big separation game.
Yeah.
And but I have to be honest, I have to be real here. I'm not sold on the Raiders. I'm not sold on the Steelers run defense. However, I'm not sold on the Raiders run defense neither. So, because you guys gave up 173 to the Patriots last week.
Andre Stevenson, we gave it up.
Yeah, that's why they should have won that game, honestly. But, they messed all that up anyway. The Steelers, we need to get Najee Harris and Jalen Warren going in this game. We don't need Mitchell Trubisky throwing it 40 or 50 times. Right. And condense this game. And it's cold weather. You don't want to be throwing in a windshield. You want to keep it grounded pound. Yeah. I think the Steelers are starting to believe in themselves. They've been playing really good football these last few weeks, but so has the Raiders. I know that loss to the Rams, that was inexcusable. Y'all should have won that game.
Absolutely.
And so I think with that, you guys are coming into Pittsburgh with some momentum from beating the Patriots. Yep. So I really believe it comes down to the run game, bro. I really believe who runs the ball better. Is it going to be Najee Harris or is it going to be Josh Jacobs? Whoever does that better is going to win this game, bottom line. And I know you guys got Devontae Adams. If I'm the Steelers, we're doubling down on him because he's going to eat up he's going to eat up our corners. So I need Micah Fitzpatrick to be an assistant on the deep ball to collapse him. He can be defended now. But if you give him an inch, he'll take a mile and he'll eat you up.
Yes, sir.
And so So what the Steelers need to first thing is first. The Steelers need to take out Josh Jacobs, neutralize the run game, and force Derek Carr to beat you with his arm. I think we have a chance in that. But if Josh Jacobs gets off in this game, and you got Jakob Johnson up in there hitting those gaps and lead blocking and blowing our linebackers up, and he's getting
how it goes.
And he's getting 5-6 yards a pop.
Yeah.
Then I'm gonna be sitting here praying that Josh McDaniels gets into his own way and mess it up.
He does that. He does that very often. So you might get what you want.
But if I'm the Raiders,
at some point.
Yeah, man. But if I'm the Raiders, man, it's gonna be a heavy dose of Josh Jacobs and your second back White. What's his name? White?
Oh, Zamir White. He's a rookie.
Zamir White. Yeah, man. Ground and pound, run the ball 40 times. The weather demands it, bro.
Man,
and
right.
Yeah, you don't want to put yourself. We're both 6-8. We must have this win. So don't put yourself in a position. I'm talking about the Steelers too. Don't put yourself in a compromising position. Now we run the ball well. Najee Harris had a hell of a game last week.
Yeah,
and Jalen Warren. We can run the football too now.
Yep.
So let's keep it. Let's keep this old school grit. Let's run the football, and let's play some defense. Now both our defenses are suspect. So it's also going to come down to who's going to make a big play on the defensive side of the football.
Yes, sir.
So, but both teams need to come in with a mindset to condense the game. Run the football. Run the football. It doesn't need to be 35-40 score. I'll be happy if we come out of there 16-15 at this point.
You know what? It's funny you say that because this is how I see the game. And I'm going to throw some stats. I'm going to throw some stats to kind of support that what I'm saying, right?
Talk to me.
The Raiders, I got the Raiders winning this game 20-13. It's going to be a low scoring game. It's going to be a possession type of game, a ground and pound. The weather permits that. It's demanding that for that to happen. We look at the strength on strength. We got our running game versus you guys' rush defense. You guys' rush defense is only giving up 109 yards per game, which is 7th in the league. It might not be great, but it's top 10. It's a top 10 rush defense.
That's not bad.
That's not bad. And then on top of that, you guys are second in the league in interceptions, 14 interceptions. So two things tells me two things, right? If you guys stuff the run, then it's going to force Derek Carr to throw the ball.
Right.
Force Derek Carr to throw the ball. We've seen time and time again where this guy makes mistakes. especially
Yes.
in the red zone. So you guys have the recipe to kind of, stalemate our offense.
Okay.
Flip side, the Raiders defense hasn't been great this year. However, these last 3 games, they've only given up 5 yards per play. 5 yards per play is top 10 in the league right now.
That's excellent.
So, and they're only allowing 17 points per game. And this is a team who's played the Chargers, they played the Rams, and they played the Patriots these last 3 games. Now, the Chargers, they scored 24 against us the last game when we played them, but one of those touchdowns was a pick 6.
Yeah.
So the defense is only giving up 17 points.
That's not bad.
Same thing with the Patriots game. They scored 24, but they got a pick 6. They only really scored 17.
Yeah.
Offense. So the defense is doing their job. They're playing very well. And that tells me that this is going to be a defensive struggle. You guys have the recipe to stop our offense on what we want to do. We want to pound the rock with Josh Jacobs. And we also, if that doesn't work, we want to look for Devontae Adams.
Yeah.
So you guys got both locked up. You guys can, kind of shut down what we're trying to do.
Yeah.
Defensively, you guys have been struggling like on offense as far as being productive, what's the word? Efficient.
Yes.
So you guys aren't very efficient on offense. You guys have struggled to try to get the run game going.
Yeah.
All season. But in saying all that, I think Najee Harris breaks out for this game. Now, I don't know if you know that Najee Harris and Franco Harris were really tight when he became.
They became very close. Yes, they did.
So this is going to be an emotional game for Najee Harris, and I think that Najee Harris is good for a touchdown at least. And I think he could possibly get 2 touchdowns in this game. I think he's going to have the best game of this season for him. And I wouldn't be surprised if he broke for 100 in this game. Yeah, I mean, just considering that we've been last game we struggled, so that might be a sign of things to come for the Raiders, like rushing defense. So we can be had with the run. So that's and what really comes down to it is that red zone defense. Now, if we're only giving up 3s instead of 7s, then this game can stay close. And
the problem I have with the Steelers is we give too much. We give too much into the interior in the center of the football field when it comes to throwing the football, and that brings to mind Mac Hollins, and I think what's his name is your tight end is back, right?
Darren Waller's back. Yeah,
Darren Waller's back. That's a problem because we got to cover them because if we lock down Devontae Adams, Mac Hollins and Darren Waller will eat on us.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have to be 40, 50-yard passes down the field. If you're nicking us with 10, 12-yard passes for first downs, well, that wears down our defense, and then you're going to run it with Josh Jacobs.
Yep.
And like I said, man, you guys run with that fullback. That is big time because when he hits that middle, because what you guys do in the offensive line so well is you guys double down on the nose tackles.
Yep.
On the 2 technique, and then you guys send the fullback in to hit our linebacker, and Josh Jacobs got 6 yards before he's even touched.
In most cases.
On the ISO and the run zones. You guys do that very, very well. So the Steelers got to really play gap responsibility football in this game and neutralize the run game. And then when Derek Carr steps back to throw, now it's got to be a TJ Watt day. TJ Watt's got to get to him, shed those blocks on the outside, and get to Derek Carr to lock down that pass game, to at least disrupt his throwing.
Now I'll say this: if you guys get us in 3rd and long situations, we're in trouble. Because if you guys get that rush, that pass rush to pin their ears back, you guys are going to kill our offensive line. You guys are going to kill our offensive line. Our offensive line hasn't been playing terribly, but in obvious passing downs, we struggle with trying to contain those star defensive ends.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
So Carr was running for his life all game last week. Like, he struggled. He only got sacked twice, but he was forced out of the pocket multiple times. and he had to throw it away a bunch of times. His completion percentage suffered for it.
Yeah.
He was like below 50% in his completion percentage at some point in that game, and it was because of that pass rush.
And that's understandable because that was Matt Judon, who's leading the league in sacks with Nick Bosa. So that's understandable. That Patriots defense is no joke. They're really legit. Yeah. So that's understandable. But
I see that same potential with TJ Watt.
Right.
He can do the same thing. And then what you guys got Hightower on the other side, right?
Yeah. And we got Cam Hayward in the interior.
Cam Hayward, and that's what I'm saying. So we have to keep you guys off balance as far as staying out of those obvious passing downs, or else we're going to be in trouble.
That's right. Yeah, I agree. And I just plus here's another thing though, Mike. At the end of the day, it does come down to the quarterback play. I trust Derek Carr more than I do Mitchell Trubisky, bro.
Yeah.
I do, man, because first of all, I just Trubisky, I hate that Kenny Pickett got hurt. I trust Kenny Pickett. And that's different, because Kenny Pickett
is Kenny Pickett playing? I mean, I know he had his injury, but is he starting?
He might be because he was on concussion protocol.
Yeah, I thought he cleared concussion protocol. I heard he might be playing.
Oh, okay. If he is, then I'll be a lot more confident us winning the game. But Trubisky, no.
Yeah, I hear you.
I hear you. I don't trust him.
Yeah, I don't trust him either.
Yeah, I trust Derek Carr more than I do Trubisky. Now, Carr, I notice with Carr when he's under pressure, he panics.
He does.
And there's no and he needs to take a cue. If I was to tell Carr, I'd say, Carr, you need to use your legs more, man. Roll out the pocket.
Enough to do it.
Yeah, and he got speed. He reminds me of Patrick Mahomes with his legs. When you play action pass, if ain't nothing there, don't do nothing stupid. Run with the football and get those first downs because he always has a lane. He has always a running lane to get those first downs.
Yep.
So that falls on Josh McDaniels, bro, to say, hey, look, man, you need to start using your legs more and stop with this reckless stuff. And because you're killing us. That's But the run game is there. But the run game is there. Let me tell you something, Mike. The Raiders' run game is phenomenal. When it's on, brother.
Oh man, and I love it.
I love it because we're both fullbacks. I love when Jakob Johnson goes in there and blows somebody up, and Josh Jacobs is getting those big yards. I love it because we have Derek Watt at fullback and we barely use him, and that's just I don't understand that. I don't.
Yeah, I don't get it either, man. But he might be used for this game. I mean, the situation's calling for it, man.
Yeah, this needs to be a heavy run game for both teams. Like our quarterbacks don't need to throw no more than I'll say maybe 15, 20 times.
I agree. I don't want to see the ball in there at all, bro. But
I don't either.
That's not realistic.
I don't. Yeah, because I just see right now the Steelers were still rebuilding. Our offensive line has gotten a lot better.
Yep.
But right now, I have more faith in the Raiders going into the playoffs than I do the Steelers. Basically, because you guys have a better offensive line than we do. You do.
Man, you know what? Here's how I feel about the Raiders situation. Trying to make the playoffs. We win this game, we got to deal with the 49ers, which I know that's your NFC team, right?
Yeah.
We got the 49ers.
But I'm nervous about that game too, bro. Hold on. I'm nervous about that game.
Man.
Wait a minute. We're going to your house.
Yeah. It's gonna be more 49er fans there this year, though, this time around, though. I think
I love Brock Purdy. But if Max Crosby smells him bleeding,
yeah.
Come on. Here's the thing, Mike, and this is what makes me upset about this thing that's been going on this season with both our teams. Mm-hmm. It's like I don't know how to explain it. If the Raiders play their max potential, like they should have been this whole year, there's absolutely no excuse why you guys are not first place in your division.
Yeah.
Because I had y'all winning y'all division this year because of the talent. If the Raiders played their max potential from the beginning of this year, you guys would be already clinched your division and going into the playoffs maybe as a 3 seed at least.
That's true.
That's the kind of talent you guys have, bro. And it's all about making a decision. When is that light bulb going to click?
Yeah.
And these 2 games right here, that light bulb can click because you guys can still make the playoffs.
We need some help, but yeah, you're right. We need some help. But we need to win out first off.
Yeah.
And Raiders can beat anybody in any given Sunday.
Yes, you can.
I'm not doubting that. I'm not thinking that they can't beat anybody. Now the problem is like what Raider team are we going to see 60 minutes of ball? Because with these teams and with these good teams, you got to play all 60 minutes or you're going to lose.
Yeah. Yeah, man.
So, and that's what we haven't seen with the Raiders all season, them putting 60 minutes of quality ball together.
Yeah.
That's kind of my concern,
And once again, we see the Kansas City Chiefs win the division.
Yeah.
And I wasn't impressed with them in that game against the Texans.
I haven't been really impressed with them all season.
Yeah. So I felt like they got away with it again this year.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I have you guys winning actually that last week.
I think we can too. I think we can too. The 49er game is the one that I'm like, if I had to rank which one I'm worried about the most, it's that 49ers game. It's one and then the Chiefs second. So
and that's a must win for the Niners too, even though I said we because I am a Niners fan too. We clinched the division, the NFC West, but we still trying to get that 2 seed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because I think the Vikings are going to fall off. So and let us get that 2 seed, and that'd be great going into the playoffs.
Yeah.
But for the Raiders, man, if you guys can get into the playoffs, I'll be very, very excited. And you guys got to turn it on, man. You guys got to turn it on.
The truth of the matter is, you get into the dance, anything goes.
Yeah.
So if we get in at 9-8 and we end up playing a team like the Chiefs, who's to say that we can't go and pull off the upset?
Right. Because I see a lot of flaws in the AFC that the Raiders can take advantage of. Look at how the hell is the Tennessee Titans first place in their division and they lost 3 straight games?
Yeah, that's bad. That's bad. When they don't have a quarterback. They
don't.
So it's that's kind of where they're at right now.
And if I'm Derek Carr, I'm like, my career's on the line because he don't want to play nowhere else. So if the Raiders release him, that's pretty much bye-bye Derek Carr. Like he ain't gonna want to play nowhere else. So you would think he would turn it on to the max. His career's on the line, bro.
It's true. It's true. And I think, I'll double down and say he's got to at least win a playoff game.
Yeah.
Not just get in the playoffs. He's got to win a playoff game.
Yeah.
That's what Raider fans are calling for at this point.
Like, you got to win a playoff game.
Yeah. Not only do you got to get into the playoffs, you got to win that first round game at least.
Y'all should have won against Cincinnati last year.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's we got to get rid of that woulda, coulda, shouldas and just do it. Bro. And that's for the Steelers too, and this game, right? This game is going to tell us. This game today is going to tell me who wants it more. Who wants to be in the playoffs?
Yes, sir.
Who wants to be there?
Yeah. Yes, sir. I agree with you, man. But I think we're beating a dead horse now.
Okay. Yeah.
We're beating a dead horse. I'm definitely going to wrap this up, man. But, hey, bro, thanks for coming, man. Thanks for coming on the show. Go for it.
One more thing, Mike. I know we talked about this, and I love you for this, bro. Thank you for talking about Deion Sanders. And let me say this real quick. I'm upset with Jackson State. I want to make this very clear. I want everybody to hear this.
Okay.
Deion Sanders set the blueprint for Jackson State to win. And there's 2 directions that a coach can go. That's elevation and termination. Yep. And that's the whole point. It's all about elevating our game. Even like in this podcast, you're elevating your game. Mm-hmm. And he took the opportunity to go to Colorado, which he gave Jackson State his own money to produce that program and show them the blueprint to win. But now it's time to elevate. So I want to just put it out there that no, he ain't no sellout. He's a damn good coach. He's an inspiration to the community, and he's going to turn Colorado around. And he's going to give them boys, hey, he's going to show Colorado how to win.
Yeah.
Okay. And I know we talked about that on the side note, and I just want to put, and I appreciate you for that, bro, because you understand what I'm saying. As black men, you know, we're already got the 8 ball against us as leaders of men.
Right.
And he has proven that time and time again. He deserves this job at Colorado. The resources is there for him to succeed even better. He did all he could for Jackson State. I know you said he wanted him to stay there longer. I get what you're saying on that. If he stayed a little bit longer to help boost up the community and the team, give him a little more sense of confidence, even more. Because Jackson State doesn't like this head coach that they got right now. It's so because it happened so fast.
Right.
And I get what you're saying on that, but you know,
bro. I'm conflicted. With the situation because you're right. You know, you got a black man who's a leader of men.
Yes.
And you know, this is what we should be. This is where we should be. And we have a shortage of that.
Yes, we do.
Not just black men leading other black men, but just black men leading men in general.
Yes.
You know? And it's
in the household, everything.
Yeah. And you know, this elevates his platform to do so. He has the resources to do this in Colorado. And it's not like he's just giving up. He turned his back on black people. There's black people. There's like 80% black people on the Colorado Buffaloes team.
Absolutely.
You know? So he's not turning his back on black people. I don't see it that way. However, on the flip side of it, I did say that I would have liked to see Deion Sanders kind of stay with Jackson State just to see that program build and kind of put a pedestal of the HBCUs on a pedestal and kind of reach them to heights that they haven't seen before. Now we've seen them on TV. We've seen he brought awareness to HBCUs.
He did big time.
He put them on the spotlight in ways we haven't seen before ever in history.
Yes.
You know, I commend him for that.
I do too.
You know, and it would have been really nice to see that he kind of would have stayed a little bit longer to kind of see how far that could have gone.
Yeah.
But at the same time, you know, he's putting in his own money. You know, there's a lot of things going on at Jackson State to where, you know, he was kind of getting stuff stolen from him. And I guess it was the right time to kind of move on in that situation. I, for one, have never said that like he's a sellout for moving on. I didn't believe that from the jump. All I was saying was I would have liked to see him kind of like continue building. It would have been nice to see him continue building, but this is not my money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, it's easy for me to say that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This is not my money. This is just something that I would have wished to see. But I understand from a perspective of Deion Sanders where he's going. You know, he has goals of his own as well. You know, and you can't knock a man for trying to reach, you know, heights. You know, continue building. I can't. You know, his goal is probably to, you know, be a Power 5 head coach, which he's accomplished. So you got to give credit where credit is due. And for people who are saying he's a sellout, this and that, rethink it, really
rethink that.
You know, and
big time.
I was a little bit emotional when we talked about it first. You know, I was like, oh man, like
man.
You know, the more I thought about it, it was like, okay, it makes sense.
But Jackson, Mississippi got to want change too. He showed you the steps to change your community, and you got to put your money where your mouth is. We all got to come together collectively and change the conditions of our environment.
Yes,
and I'm talking about Jackson, Mississippi as a whole.
Yeah.
And if they're not going to want to do that, then you can't expect this man to spoon feed you.
Yeah.
Over and over again to get there, and you guys are not putting in the work yourselves. And I think that's what Deion Sanders is trying to say. I'm gonna go somewhere that is hungry, that's going to take advantage of what I'm given. Yeah. And on top of that, already have the resources in place for me to make it even easier for me to do my job. I don't have to put out my own money.
Yep.
And they put me in a position where I can maximize my potential as well. And man.
That's you're definitely right. I definitely agree with you on that one. You know, we definitely have to, in these situations, we got to stop calling people sellouts, this and that, all that other stuff. Like,
Yeah,
that's dead, man. You know what I mean? Like, it's, you know, this is a man who is a leader of men, and he's a black man, so we need to support that.
absolutely.
You know? And you know, it might not be in the platform we would like to see it, but he's still in a platform to do that. He's still in a platform to be that leader of men, and that's something that has to be celebrated.
Yes.
Period.
And he's just been there long enough for Jackson State to be like, okay, this is what Deion Sanders said. Let's keep it going.
Exactly.
Let's keep it moving.
Yeah, absolutely, man. But there you go, man.
Yeah, man.
I think we can turn it in now, man. I think we covered everything it is to cover, including some Jackson State. I didn't even expect that, but yeah, I'm glad we did this, man. That's why I love having you on my show, man.
Thank you, brother.
We can probably go for another hour.
We could.
We really could. You know, so, but you know, for the sake of other people and their attention spans, we got to end it.
I know that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, man.
Yes, sir. But you know, thanks for coming on the show again, man. We're definitely going to be doing this more. That you're going to be you're a mainstay on my show, man. You're a staple to this show.
Thank you, brother.
We'll be bringing you back on to talk ball. We gotta do this on a regular.
We do, man.
We got the best conversations. I think that us two together, we bring energy that I think it can be appreciated by the viewers. So, bro, you're a mainstay here. Anytime you want to come on, you're more than welcome, bro.
Oh, man. And I love talking with you, Mike. You're an awesome brother. And I just wish you nothing but love and success for you and your family. You're always in my prayers. And I'm always here if you need me, bro. Always. We brothers for life, big dog. Always.
Man, appreciate you, bro. Appreciate you.
Yeah, man.
All right. So, hey, that was the Raiders Pop-Off episode 6. Guys, make sure and like it, subscribe. Most importantly, subscribe. I looked at the numbers. There's about 80% of you guys who really enjoys what I'm putting down, but you guys aren't hitting that subscribe. We got some good followers. We got some good support, but hit that subscribe and show your love, please.
Yeah, hit that subscribe, baby.
That's right. So with that, I'm Big Mike. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year, all that great stuff. And we're out. Peace.
Yeah, peace.